Brain Boost presents 9 signs you could develop more mental toughness. Do you ever find yourself easily influenced by others or struggle to make decisions? Or do you feel confused or overwhelmed by life's challenges and find yourself constantly questioning your choices? If so, then this video is for you. In this video, we're going to explore 9 signs that may indicate you need to develop more mental toughness, also known as mental resilience. This quality separates those who can handle pressure from those who may struggle in such situations. Remember, lacking mental toughness is not a personal failing and can be improved with practice. While it can sometimes be challenging to recognize this trait in yourself or someone you know, here are a few key signs to look out for so that you can identify and overcome it. Our first sign is giving in to pressure quickly. If you often find yourself easily yielding to pressure, it may suggest that you could benefit from enhancing your mental toughness. This isn't a sign of a weak character, but it may indicate a struggle with decision-making or standing your ground. Sometimes you try to please others by saying or doing things that you don't want to do, which can lead to a feeling of helplessness and being taken advantage of. Remember, everyone can be influenced or feel overwhelmed at times, and it doesn't mean you're an easy target for manipulation. Often this can also stem from a lack of experience, fear of conflict, or insufficient skills. By acknowledging this, you can start to work on assertiveness techniques, learn to navigate conflict, and build experience in handling pressure. Moving on to the second sign, obsessing over problems. While it's easy to get caught up in day-to-day worries and concerns, obsessing over problems might indicate a need for more mental resilience. Individuals with higher mental toughness focus on solutions rather than just the issue itself. On the other hand, individuals with low mental resilience focus on the problem and can't see past it. Unfortunately, this narrow focus prevents you from being able to think critically and objectively, and often leads to making poor decisions. To tackle this, consider strategies like reframing the problem, viewing it from a different perspective, or as a challenge rather than a threat. Seeking advice from trusted individuals can also provide new viewpoints and solutions. Finally, developing problem-solving skills, such as brainstorming or step-by-step approaches, can help to address issues more effectively. Remember, this tendency to obsess is also a common symptom of certain mental health issues like anxiety disorders. So seeking professional help is always a good option. The third sign is apologizing for everything. Apologies can be a great way to show that you are sorry for something you may have done wrong. But apologizing for everything can sometimes point towards a need for increased mental resilience. When someone says sorry too frequently, even when it's not warranted, it may signal feelings of insecurity or uncertainty and a lack of courage to stand up for themselves or their beliefs. It can also be seen as an attempt to gain approval. This behavior can be damaging to relationships as others may not take you seriously or respect your opinions. However, over-apologizing isn't necessarily a sign of weakness, but can indicate areas for personal growth. Building mental toughness involves recognizing when an apology is necessary and when it's a self-deprecating habit. Confidence-building exercises, assertiveness training, or seeking professional advice can be effective in addressing this tendency. Our fourth sign to discuss is finding it hard to commit to a goal. Setting and achieving goals requires willpower and determination to stay focused and committed to what you are trying to accomplish. But for some, this can be extremely difficult. When someone is constantly struggling to commit to a goal, it can be a sign of a need for increased mental resilience. They tend to lack determination and may be too afraid of the hard work that comes with achieving a goal. As a result, they often give up before they even start. This isn't about just settling for mediocrity. It's more likely about fear of failure, lack of self-confidence, or not having the right strategies to tackle challenges. Developing mental toughness involves understanding that setbacks and difficulties are part of the journey toward achieving goals. Utilizing strategies such as breaking larger goals into smaller, manageable tasks, seeking support when needed, and celebrating small victories along the way can help maintain focus and commitment. Up next, the fifth sign. Seeking frequent external validation. We all want to feel appreciated, valued, and respected by others. But when the need for external validation becomes a frequent occurrence, it might indicate a need to improve mental resilience. When someone is overly concerned with the opinions of others and relies too heavily on external validation, it usually means that they are unable to make decisions for themselves or take responsibility for their own actions. This can prevent personal growth and hinder the ability to take risks or step outside of their comfort zone. Remember, seeking validation is not inherently negative. It's when it becomes a constant need and dependence that it may be a sign of a lack of mental toughness. Achieving a balance between valuing your own judgment and considering others' feedback is an integral part of developing mental toughness. You might find value in confidence-building exercises, practicing self-affirmations, or seeking professional help to break the cycle of external validation dependence. The sixth sign to note is always being the victim. Are you that person who often shares your concerns with others? You might talk about your challenges, but you don't always have any solutions. Always thinking about how you just don't get it, and how everything is so unfair. Those who tend to always view themselves as victims of their circumstances can quickly become overwhelmed and unable to take the necessary steps to create a better outcome. This can cause a general feeling of helplessness and a sense of powerlessness over their life. This isn't an inherent flaw, but rather a pattern of thinking that can be adjusted with mental resilience training. You might feel overwhelmed by life's challenges and unsure about how to take steps toward better outcomes. It's important to remember that feeling like a victim is often a response to past experiences and can be a hard cycle to break. Building mental toughness involves shifting from a victim mentality to an empowerment mentality. This might include practicing solution-focused thinking, fostering a positive self-image, and learning to take control of one's responses to life's challenges. With time and effort, this pattern can shift towards a more empowered, solution-oriented mindset. Our seventh sign is being consumed by envy. Envy is a feeling of discontentment and bitterness toward another person because they have something that you don't. It is an emotion that can be difficult to control and, if left unchecked, can consume your thoughts and actions. In fact, a person may become so focused on what someone else has that they become blind to their own potential and ability to achieve similar results. Rather than a weakness, it's an indicator that one might benefit from fostering mental resilience. This excessive envy could lead to destructive behaviors, discourage personal growth, and hinder one's own potential. It might also indicate other issues such as low self-esteem or personality disorders. Building mental toughness involves recognizing and addressing these feelings of envy. Focus on cultivating gratitude for what you already have, setting personal goals based on your own values and aspirations, and celebrating your achievements and progress. Seek professional help if envy becomes overwhelming or starts to significantly impact your life. Remember, it's natural to feel envious at times, but learning to manage these feelings can lead to a healthier mindset and improved mental resilience. The eighth sign is holding on to resentment. It's natural to feel hurt and pain when someone has wronged us, but it's not healthy to hold on to that resentment and let it fester, as it can have negative consequences. When someone holds on to resentment, they are not allowing themselves the opportunity to heal and grow. Not only is this emotionally damaging, but it can also have physical health consequences. Studies have linked resentment to physical ailments such as high blood pressure, headaches, and even an increased risk of coronary heart disease. And it's also important to remember that holding on to resentment can damage relationships. If someone is constantly bitter and unwilling to forgive, it can be difficult for them to form and maintain meaningful relationships. This can cause feelings of isolation and loneliness, which can further worsen emotional pain. Instead of seeing this as a personal failing, recognize it as an opportunity to develop mental toughness. Practice strategies for letting go of resentment, such as engaging in forgiveness practices, seeking therapy, or utilizing mindfulness techniques. Working through these feelings doesn't mean forgetting the wrongs done to you, but rather allowing yourself to heal and move forward for your own well-being. Our final sign, number 9, is always being defensive. When you notice that you're always defensive, it might be an indication that you could benefit from enhancing your mental toughness. First of all, someone who is always defensive tends to be overly sensitive to criticism. They may become agitated or angry when someone offers them constructive feedback, rather than taking it in stride. This shows that they are more concerned with protecting their ego than with genuinely improving. Second, people who are always defensive often take things personally. They can't seem to separate themselves from the criticism and take it objectively, and this can cause a lot of unnecessary conflict. Furthermore, they are usually closed off to new ideas. They may be resistant to change and unwilling to consider different perspectives. Additionally, being defensive could also indicate insecurity, emotional hypersensitivity, a fear of failure, or vulnerability. Seeing constructive criticism as an opportunity for growth and improvement, rather than as a personal attack, is a key step in building mental toughness. Consider strategies like self-reflection, mindfulness, and open communication to help cope with defensive reactions. Professional help can also be a valuable tool in learning how to handle criticism constructively. Remember, addressing defensiveness isn't about blaming the individual, but about providing them with the tools to navigate criticism and feedback in a healthier, more productive way. All things considered, if you just pay close attention and take the time to observe behavior, whether it's your own or someone else's, you will likely be able to recognize the signs that could benefit from enhancing your mental toughness. Nevertheless, it's important to remember that everyone is capable of overcoming their weaknesses, and with the right approach, everyone can develop mental toughness. However, the path to mental resilience isn't the same for everyone and can involve a combination of therapeutic techniques, self-care habits, and sometimes medication. Keep in mind that while this information is generally valid, it should not be used as a substitute for professional mental health advice. It can serve as a starting point for self-reflection and understanding, but any significant issues should be addressed with a mental health professional. We'd love to hear about your experiences with mental resilience or any strategies you found useful in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.